We're going to try out a new Kubernetes 1.26 feature called Validation Admission Policy, which allows you to define policies using the Common Expression Language, or CEL. And we will try this. We're going to create a cluster with 1.26. We're going to configure a policy, and then we're going to verify that this feature actually works as expected. First, let's create a kind cluster to create the Kubernetes 1.26 cluster. Create cluster. Right. We can take a quick look at what that cluster YAML looks like. Because 1.26 wasn't really out yet. It's like almost there, I think. It wasn't the latest version for kind when I tried it. So we have to specify the 1.26 image. And then two things that we have to take care of is make sure the feature gate is set to validation admission policy true. And then runtime config, you also need to set so the API and the CRDs are available in your Kubernetes cluster. I actually forgot to do this and created a bug. And then being pointed out, I should have read the docs, which I should have done better. So let's take a look if the cluster's up. Yeah, looks like it's up. Not there yet. There should be no validation policy one. What was it? Anyway, let's there should be no validation admission policy yet. Yeah, it's empty. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a validation admission policy, which really is, it tells us, this has the rules for your policy. Let's see, CEL policy, YAML. And our policy is very simple. We're going to match the following resources: API group apps, v1, and then we're only going to target deployments and create and update operations. And any object that we don't want other people to use a deployment with the name Samos. So that's this rule. It's a very simple rule, just as an example. The name of this policy is example policy, and then we're going to apply the binding, and I will also show the YAML in a moment to apply this to a specific namespace. So in our case, we let's take a look at this binding. This binding, we just say the policy name. We specify the name, and we specify the name that we just defined, example policy, and then we're using match resources and a namespace selector. Any namespace that has the label key test and value SAM, we're gonna apply the example policy. So right now we don't have any namespace of this label attached. So what we're going to do is we're going to label the namespace default, and we're going to add the label test equals SAM to it, so that this policy will get applied. So that should be it. Now next we're going to try and create a deployment that has as name Samos, and and hopefully that should not work. That should give us an error, is my expectation. And there you go. It says deployment Samos is invalid, and then request denied, field expression, the metadata name does not equal Samos. So that was a quick example of how to implement how to use the validation admission policy.